Have you wondered about the parallels between parenting and leadership? When you think about it, parents are the leaders of the family. And as leaders, we are role models, regardless of whether we choose to be or not. Think about when you were younger, who were some of the role models that impacted you? They don't have to be celebrities. They could be a parent, a grandparent, an uncle or aunt, a school teacher, an inspiring neighbor. And some of the qualities that you might draw forth from yourself in becoming a leader yourself may not have been through just positive experiences. I wonder whether some of the tough experiences in our lives have also grown us. And good or bad role models in our lives have taught us strongly. So in my life, my great-grandmother was one of those role models that impacted me. She was the personification of strength and survival through the school of hard knocks in a hostile world. She was widowed very young, and she brought up her daughter, who was my grandmother, through running her own business with very little education. And she was a tough woman. At 6 years old, I remember her clearly watching me playing with my paper dolls that I had proudly made. And if you remember paper dolls, they were cardboard cutouts where, I could dress them up with different wardrobes that I've made, shoes, handbags, wigs. And as she watched me playing them, she asked me, "You're going to school next year, aren't you? Do you think it's still appropriate to play with dolls?" I looked at her and I could not see the connection, but I said, "Of course. I will always play with these dolls. I'm having fun with them. I'm proud of them, and nothing will stop me from playing with them." Without saying a word, my great-grandmother swept up my dolls and took them to the kitchen, started a fire, and burned them in front of me. Imagine how I was feeling. I had never hated anyone on the planet until then. I vowed that day that I would never let someone do that to me again. And I also vowed that I would never do something like that to another human being so that I would be so disliked. So the impact was, for the next 40 years, how I dealt with a hostile world, which was shown to my great-grandmother rather than told to. She drew forth in me a decision that was going to help me engage with people that I agreed with or I didn't, just so that I could understand their world. I would step into their world and try to understand them. And when I did understand them and build that trust and commitment is when I would then lead them to where I want them to go. Because by that time, when you understand someone that you're friendly or close to, you wouldn't want to hurt them anyway. And I found that with my children as well, that they've got this ability to engage with people and understand their worlds before they impose their ideas on them. I've been in that situation with them and they've done a great job. So I wonder what it is that is in you that you're role modeling to your children. What behaviors are unconsciously being instilled in them or being drawn forth by some of the choices you make as a leader in your family. And the more aware you are of them, the better it is. Because whether you're giving them good experiences or so-called tough experiences, it may be to not only support them, but to challenge them to greater achievement. So I was wondering, there is another thought too. Could you also learn from role models that are younger and less experienced than you? And I pose the question that when I have a problem with my IT, the person I look to is my 12-year-old son, who seems to be very savvy in that arena. So I could certainly learn from him. So what unexpected things can we learn from our children besides technology? Perhaps it's their way of looking at the world. Perhaps it's new eyes. Perhaps it's curiosity and asking those innocent questions that we feel are not appropriate. So be a role model.